So, Subnautica 3 has been announced, right? Well, perhaps not entirely. Don't get me wrong, I've seen the posts everywhere as well, even made one myself, but the truth about what's actually coming is a bit more complicated. That's why I'll be dedicating this video to explaining the current situation and expressing my thoughts about the upcoming releases from Unknown Worlds Entertainment. Oh yeah, and Speedy Mouse will be joining me as well to share some of his thoughts because he's just an absolute Chad. So, let's dive in. Now, we need to start from the top, and that is this post made by Unknown Worlds Entertainment, the development studio behind both the Subnautica games as well as Natural Selection. It is a job listing posted on their Twitter that clearly advertises a lead programmer position that would be working on, quote, our next game in the Subnautica universe. While this might on the surface seem like a done deal, third game confirmed, it is important to mention that technically, the Natural Selection games also take place in the Subnautica universe. Or, I suppose since those games came first, Subnautica takes place in their universe. What I believe is happening here is that we're simply going to be getting a new game, perhaps even a new genre, which will be set in the same overarching storyline, but perhaps not directly related to the events of Subnautica and Below Zero. What do you think, Speedy?
So there's a difference between what I want and what I think will actually happen. What I would like is a genre exactly the same as the first two Subnautica games because those are the Unknown Worlds games that I like the best. And I also think Unknown Worlds does a really good job at creating those types of games. But what I think will actually happen is a turn-based strategy game like they've already kind of told us. I'm guessing it'll be something like Natural Selection and Natural Selection 2. I'm not exactly sure how I feel about that, but I'll save my judgment until we actually see the games.
I fully agree. While I would obviously love a continuation of the Subnautica-style games, looking at the news from right around when Unknown Worlds got acquired by Krafton, it seems that they're instead looking into other genres, including turn-based strategy apparently, while some other job postings on their website seem to hint at some exploration of the mobile market. And hey, I know we often joke about Potato Subnautica looking like a mobile port, but heck, I wouldn't mind a pocket version of the game. But alright, I think we've established that we should look into different genres. But what about the story? Even if the game plays differently, the story could still be very closely tied to the games we have now. Which would you prefer, Speedy?
This one's super easy. I definitely think they should continue the storyline of Subnautica. I personally love Subnautica's story. It sets up a really cool universe with tons of awesome lore, and I think it would be a shame if they went for a new story. So I think if it's a Subnautica style genre, I think that single player would be best. Single player kind of defines the Subnautica games, and it wouldn't really be as immersive if it was multiplayer. But if they're going to do like a Natural Selection type game or some sort of new genre, I would love to see multiplayer. And I honestly think that's what they're going to plan on doing because they've made two single player games, so I honestly think they're going to try and switch it up now and change it to multiplayer.
Totally. I'd stick with the story close to the original and probably try tampering about with the timeline instead. Maybe exploring a potential prequel as Kara first started decimating precursor homeworlds. Or a sequel, let's see what happens with Alan and Robin, right? Well, as good as that story was, let's be honest, for many people, Below Zero just didn't quite live up to the original game. And so the question comes up, what should they keep and what should they discard?
So this question is honestly pretty tough. I think if they go with a new genre, like I said earlier, they should keep the same storyline. I would like it to be multiplayer. But other than the story, if they're going for a new genre, I think they should add a lot of completely new stuff and keep very little, except for maybe like a few creatures here and there. But if it's the same genre, I think they should keep a lot of stuff they have with the Subnauticas. I'd love to see a lot of new and unique creatures though, and plenty of new mechanics, kind of like what they did with Subnautica Below Zero.
Yeah, I'm right there with you. I think a genre shift would be the perfect opportunity to experiment with tons of new gameplay elements, themes, narrative styles, and everything to deliver something that still fits the universe, but feels distinctly unique. And heck, people have been asking for co-op or multiplayer for a really long time, so if this is the game that kind of bridges the gap, I'd be super happy. And of course, some references to the original stories would be awesome as well. Please tell me what happens to Riley. So, where does this leave us? Well, based on everything we can see and read online right now, I'd guess that we might hear about this new game relatively soon, even though I don't think it's crazy far along yet, based on the types of hires they're trying to make. related to setting up the basics mostly. When do you think we'll hear about it?
I would expect to hear more about this game, honestly, really soon. I'm assuming they've been working on it ever since Subnautica Below Zero released, and that was May 14th of last year, so it's getting pretty close to about a year since the release. So I honestly hope and expect to hear from them very, very soon.
And I certainly hope you're right. But anyway, that takes us to the end of this video, so I really hope you all enjoyed and are a little more caught up on the current state of events regarding Subnautica. If you guys liked the video, maybe consider leaving a like, commenting, or subscribing. All of those would be very much appreciated. And if there are other things you think about this upcoming mystery game, or things you would like to see carried over from the previous games, please make sure to leave that down in the comments as well. I would very much like to read it. Now with that, I'm gonna wish you all a beautiful rest of the day, and I'll see you in whatever next video I make. Bye bye.